Hello dear students, today we will start our second chapter, that is sample and sampling. Now before this, in first chapter we will revise what we learned in very brief. First chapter was about the introduction of biostatistics, introduction to biostatistics. In that we learned about biostatistics definition, which is nothing but the application of statistical method to the biological problems. Then we discussed or we learned different statistical terms like sample, population, primary data, secondary data, qualitative data, quantitative data, parameters, statistic, frequency, its distribution, like that. Then at last we studied about the applications of biostatistics, which finds its application, or it is very much important in the field of research. No research can complete without the application of statistics. Then in pharmaceutical industry, in weather forecasting, in community health, like that. So there are different disciplines which uses the statistics. You can say almost all disciplines, even if it is physics, chemistry, or even other disciplines in social science also, all use the statistics. Today we will discuss about will give more emphasis on one of the terms, statistical terms that we studied, that is nothing but the sample. And afterward we will study the different types of sampling methods. Now if we see what is sample. Sample is a finite subset of statistical individual defined in a population is called as a sample. Or previously, in other words, we learned the definition of sample as it is the subset of a population, or it is the selected part of the population. Means population is a broader term, and if we take some individuals, selective individuals from that population, it becomes the sample. Okay, so it is practically not feasible to study entire population, because it will require tremendous energy and time to be consumed, or it will consume a tremendous energy and time of the surveyor or who is going to study the population. But instead of that, what will we do? We will select the samples from the population and will study the samples, and based on the results of that analysis of that samples, we will conclude or will infer about the population. Second is sampling unit. So whatever the sample size that we have selected, all these sample size which is included in one unit, and that unit is called as sampling unit. So if we see the definition, definition of sampling unit is one of the unit selected for the purpose of sampling. Means how many number of samples we have taken, and that their collective number is nothing but that entire sampling unit. Then third is what is population. We earlier learnt about the population. Population is nothing but the totality of individuals' observations about which inferences. What do you mean by inference? Inference means nothing but your conclusion, okay, about which inference can be made or are to be made. So in short, it is a group of individuals of a same species which resides in particular geographical area. So we'll move forward towards types of sampling. So it is very important topic from your exam point of view also. So what are the different types of sampling? If we see sampling, you are having basically two major type of samplings. Which two major type of sampling? First one is what? First one is random sampling, and second is what? Non-random sampling. So if you go to the market to purchase some grains like wheat, what will you do there? You will just check a few grains of that wheat, and on the basis of that you will purchase a quintals of wheat. Okay, so you check only a sample, not entire wheat you are going to check. So it is an significance of the sampling. Even if you fell ill and you are suspected to be having the typhoid, so what will you do? You will give your blood sample. You will give your blood sample. That sample will be analyzed, and on the basis of that results, the test will conclude about whether you have affected with the disease or not. Okay, so therefore the sampling is having importance. Sampling is having too much importance. Okay, now what is the difference between random sampling and non-random sampling? So their name, if we see the name, random sampling. What is random sampling? Random sampling is nothing but in this type of sampling, each and every individual of a population is having an equal chance of being selected. Okay, means at random is what? You don't have any predefined criteria for selecting that sample. You will just go there and you will handpick something. You. There is no any selection criteria applied. You have selected a sample at random. It becomes random sample. Exactly opposite to that is non-random sampling. What happens in non-random sampling? In non-random sampling, there is a predefined criteria. There is a certain characteristics or certain criteria on the basis of which individuals are get selected. So there must be some sort of a bias which is involved in the non-random sampling. Okay, so that is about non-random sampling. So in random sampling is again having two types. First one is what? Simple random sampling, and second one is what? Restricted random sampling. So simple random sampling is as good as your random sampling, in which the sample or a selected individual of a population is having equal chance of being selected. The sample is having equal chance of being selected, means there is no any bias. Directly the samples is being selected at random. But in case of restricted random sampling, there are certain assumptions, or you can say there are certain things which should be taken into consideration while selecting the samples, even though it is also a random sampling. Okay, it is no biasness is involved. Still, it is having some constraints or some what we can say advices or guidelines based on which the samples are selected. Therefore, it is called as the restricted random sampling. Okay. Now this restricted random sampling is having two different types. First one is what? Systematic random sampling, and second is what? Stratified random sampling. So we will see what is systematic random sampling. So here in systematic random sampling, what will we do? We will start at random. Okay, we will, if you want to select some samples from the population, then you will start at a random point, but after that you have to select the subsequent samples based on certain criteria or based on certain guidelines. For example, in this case we have to find, in case of say systematic random sampling, what we have to do? We have to find sampling interval, and that sampling interval is denoted by, k. It is denoted by k, which is nothing but capital N upon small n. So what is this k? K is the sampling interval. For example, let us take an example where there is a population of around 500 students. There is a population of around 500 students, and out of these 500 students you have to select the 50 students through the process of this systematic random sampling. So how will you going to select this? First of all, you have to find the sampling interval, which is k. How the sampling interval is found out? K is found out by the formula k is equal to capital N upon small n, where this n stands for what? That n stands for population size. That n stands for population size, and this your small n stands for sample size. Okay, now if we use the that formula based on what we are going to calculate this. So population size is what? Sampling interval can be calculated by k is equal to what is your population size? N is what? Population size is what? 500. So you have to divide 500. You have to divide 500 by the small n is what? Sample size. How many samples we are going to select? 50 samples. How many? 50 samples. Now if we solve this, we will get the value equal to 10. So what is k? K is 10. So if you want to select the 50 samples, you must have this difference to be maintained of 10 samples. For example, you have to select 50 out of 500. So as I earlier told you that initial selection of sample is random, therefore it is included in the random sampling. For example, initially you select sample 15 number sample out of 500. Then after that the next sample will be after 10 samples. So it will be 25. After that, again after 10, 35. After that, 45 and so on. Okay, so you got this point. In systematic sampling, what will we do? We'll just do, or we'll just find the sampling interval, and after finding the sampling interval, what will we do? We'll select the first sample at random, but after that what we have found, that sampling interval is 10. So after that fixed number, we'll going to add the next sample. So it is about the systematic sampling. Now second type of restricted random sampling is stratified sampling. So what is strata? Strata is a particular layer or a particular group. So what you do in stratified sampling? In stratified sampling, we divide a population to a particular stratum. Okay, and that strata, again from that particular strata we have to select the samples. Okay, so it may have 2, 3, 4 stratas or a group. Strata means what? A group. Okay. For example, let us take an example by which you can understand this topic. You can understand that topic. So here, so let us take, there are two institutions. For example, institution X and institution Y. Okay. Now there is a total number of students in this both institutions are 500. Total students are 500. Out of that 200 students belongs to X institution, that is one strata. Okay, and 300 students belongs to Y institution, that is another strata. So you are having two different groups or two different strata, and you have to take the samples from both. But as there are two different stratas, we have to select that from both the stratas, and in even or poised condition, or giving justice to both of the institutions. How will we going to select? We will find the samples from both the population. How will we going to find? We will just apply the formula, that is for the institution X, the samples will be n1, small n1, which is equal to n upon n, here small n upon capital N, into n1. Here small n is what? Small n is the sample size. How many samples we are going to select? Out of 500, 50 samples. Okay, 50 samples out of 500. So 50 out of 500 into that one institution is having the number of students 200. Okay, so that n1 becomes 20. That n1 becomes 20. Similarly, if we calculate it for this 300, it becomes 30. Okay, so when selecting the 50 individuals from these 500 individuals, we have to select from X institution 20 students and from Y institution 30 students, because based on their student strength, because Y is having 300 students and X is having, Y is having 300 students and X is having 200 students. Okay. Now second is what will understood, you will, hope you have understood this stratified sampling. Second thing is what? Non-random sampling. Here in case of non-random sampling, what will we do? Here there is some sort of a biasness which is involved. Okay, there is some sort of a biasness, or each and every individual is not getting the equal chance of being selected. Okay, therefore that is called as non-random sampling. In that, first one is what? First one is your quota sampling. First one is what? First one is quota sampling. So, first one is purpose sampling. First one is the purpose sampling, second is the quota sampling. So, what is the purpose sampling? Purpose sampling means, as its name suggests, that the investigator or the surveyor is having some sort of a purpose behind selection. For example, one surveyor is expert in the field of biotechnology and he wants a research scholar to work in that field of biotechnology. So he has given the ad in the paper that MSc botany students can participate in the interview. When he will take the interview, what will he ask, or what is he supposed to ask? Whether you are having experience of plant tissue culture, whether you have done any project in the plant tissue culture, or do you have some experience in plant tissue culture that you can perform it. So that criteria should be applied while selecting the students. Okay, while selecting the students, therefore it becomes your purpose. So you have some sort of a purpose, therefore that becomes some sort of biasness comes there. Not exactly the word biasness is suitable for it, but the word that comes, some criteria are applied and based on that criteria that is selected. Now second is that is about the purpose sampling. Second is quota sampling. Quota means what? It is a predefined thing that you observe. Quota sampling example is very clear, that you are having reservations. Okay, caste reservations are there in India. So you are having 19% for OBC, you are having 13% for SC, or 3% or something NT, SC. So each and every caste is having particular quota. So for example, if there are some 100 students, out of that 19 students will be from OBC, 13 students will be from your SC category. So that is their quota. So you have to select from that quota only. For example, from 19 students, you have to take all the OBC students and you have to select the 90 students based on their merit. So in this fashion, quota sampling can be done. So it is again based on certain predefined criteria, therefore it comes under the non-random sampling. So that is all about the types of sampling, in which your sampling is having two types, random sampling and non-random sampling. Again, random sampling having two types, simple random sampling and restricted random sampling. Again, restricted random sampling is having two different types, systematic sampling and stratified sampling. And in non-random sampling we are having two, and that is purpose sampling and quota sampling. So in next lecture we will see the further parts. Okay. Thank you.